Hello, everybody. Um, I'm back. Haven't recorded a video in a while. I did upload one recently, but I haven't recorded one in a while. I've been sick. I've been busy too with a lot of stuff, so I'm back. I'm doing a little different format here, but hope you'll like it. And let's go. Um, why health equals looks? So, health is the foundation of all looks maxing and all your looks. Your health is the foundation. So everything above it, like whether that's products, all this stuff, bone smashing, mewing, or whatever. Uh, I'm actually gonna get into that in another video about all those types of tactics. But that's gonna fall. That's gonna crumble if you don't have health. If your health isn't good, then everything else it won't come together. And that's why I made a little pyramid here. Health is the foundation. Everything else is gonna fall. Won't look good. So let me show you an example. This is Charlie Sheen. If you don't know him, he's a famous actor. He had pretty good genetics. He's a good looking guy. He's famous. He's rich, but he looks like 60 in his 30s. Why? Because he doesn't prioritize his health. Did a lot of drugs and alcohol, of course. But you have to prioritize your health in full. And he looks unhealthy. He looks unnatural. He's aged heavily, and he's not appealing to talk to. Do you want to talk to him? Is that someone you'd go up and talk to in public? He doesn't look appealing to talk to. And even with all the cosmetic surgeries and products he could put on, it's because he's rich. The genetics. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter if you don't have health. Your health is that's the foundation. So look, a $60 serum is not going to replace health. It's that simple. No matter what these companies try to tell you, the health is the foundation. That's the basis. That's the number one thing you should be focused on in looks maxing and improving your looks. So what I like to call what's nature's real glow up? Nature's real glow up is diet, sunlight, and sleep. So obviously the benefits of having a good diet, are better physique, but what a lot of people know about all these three things is that you have a clear face and clear skin. So a lot of processed sugar and that type of stuff it causes acne. If you didn't know, I used to have a bunch of acne. I have a little bit of acne now, but it used to be terrible. And I stopped eating processed sugar, stopped eating processed junk in general. And my acne has almost gone away, and I have pretty clear skin. So what diet should I be eating? What should I be eating? What should be my diet? Um, I look because there's a lot of different narratives about what eating healthy is and what you should be eating. So I like to. I mean, there's extreme ends. There's some people go too light. I like to just think, what were my ancestors eating 200 to 500 years ago? What were they eating? So mainly whole foods, like low ingredient to one ingredient foods. Like I don't know if you've seen those those TikTok meals with the wood cutting board, steak, eggs, avocados, and berries, and the raw milk, raw honey, whatever. That's actually a good meal. Um, Having a bunch of one ingredient foods, low ingredient foods, it's not gonna kill you because I like to make some snacks from time to time, like some healthy snacks, with I don't know milk, eggs, and stuff. Make some healthy ice cream, something like that. But try to eat something that your uh ancestors were eating all those years ago. So why? Because they have first of all, there's a lot of bad stuff in processed foods because that's gonna hinder stuff lower your nutrients and cause all these effects. But eating good gives you a lot of good nutrients, and that's going to help your skin, help your body, help your bones, and your physique and with that. Um, and this also comes from sunlight and sleep. I know a lot of people say sleep is you hear it all the time that it's good for you, and you probably don't never really focus on that, especially when you're growing and in puberty. But they don't emphasize it enough, especially with your looks. When you don't have good sleep, you look drained. You look like you look you don't look like you have life. It causes a lot of eye bags. I used to not get good sleep. I was tired. I was also unmotivated, so it affects other areas of your life, which can also come back to your looks. But I mean, under eyes look bad. You just look drained and dried out. All right. So don't do drugs. Drugs are a really touchy subject. Like a lot of people like to prioritize their health. Oh, but it's just like drugs. I'm just doing it for fun. Look, I'm not your dad. I'm not your parents. Like I don't. You guys could just. I'm gonna give you the information, tell you the downsides, and you could take it how you want. Um. So look, for your looks, drugs and alcohol, that's going to age you a lot. It's going to mess up dry out your skin. You're going to look puffy. You're going to get wrinkles, especially with alcohol and weed, like nicotine and other substances. Uh, it absorbs nutrients in your skin, and that obviously you don't want that. It messes up your like skin, gives you dark circles. You lose like a type of glow. And these drugs, they lower your testosterone through the HPG axis, which is basically how it controls how much is produced, and that gets hindered. And we're going to talk about testosterone a little bit later, but you obviously don't want any of these things. So take that how you will, because I know a lot of people they won't eat Red 40, but when it comes to that cart, comes to that Nick, puffing away. Um, obviously, I mentioned sunlight. A lot of people say that. A lot of people hear, oh, sunlight causes skin cancer. It also ages your skin. You don't want to. You got to make sure to wear as much sunscreen as possible. Don't be in the sun a lot. So that's actually a myth. Sunlight is good for you, but it's what you eat that uh, gets affected by the sunlight. So, for example, a lot of people in their diet they get sunburn. I haven't gotten sunburn since even though it's October and now during the summer when I've been eating good. I never got sunburn at all, or because people are eating seed oils, for example, oxidized seed oils. Cause I just broke it down here. They increase your inflammation, uh, and this evidently will increase that effect from the sun and a bigger risk of skin cancer. So the seed oils, it basically leads to lipid preoxidation, which leads to DNA damage, which leads to inflammation, which leads to higher UV sensitivity, which is going to in turn lead to a bigger risk of skin cancer and a bigger effect from the sun. So your hormonal health and equals your visual attractiveness. So if you don't know what this is on the left, that is testosterone, and this is obviously a really attractive guy here, and he has high testosterone. um, so you've probably heard of testosterone. Okay, what are the benefits of having high testosterone? So let's break it down. With lower testosterone, you have higher body fat, feminine features, feminine action. So you act in a feminine way. That's also just going to affect not just your looks, but how you're perceived towards like other women. Less erections, and it can lead to a smaller penis during growth. Um, this is true. A lot of people with micro penises, like young during growth, like younger people, have been given testosterone to try and cure that. High testosterone, uh, muscle growth, at least obviously muscle growth, more drive, which is actually really beneficial because when you have more drive, it leads to other areas of life. You might want to work out more. You might want to improve your diet more, and it's going to affect all areas of life, which also in turn can come back to looks. You get better masculine features, and it shapes your bone structure. So those two are kind of connected. When you have high testosterone, especially during growth, yeah, you get good bone growth and good bone structure, which is obviously something you want for your looks. Higher libido, which is higher sex drive, definitely something you're gonna want in terms of attracting girls, and a deeper voice. And here's some other stuff showing a little picture down there showing that. How can I improve my testosterone? Well, most people have probably heard, oh, just have good diet, good sleep, and exercise, lift heavy weights. Yeah, this is pretty obvious. This is true, but it doesn't just come down to that, and I don't think these are as important as some other things. So avoid estrogenic material. This is super important. So what is some estrogen is basically the opposite of testosterone. It's another chemical that women tend to have more. So when your estrogen goes up, your testosterone goes down. When your estrogen goes up, your testosterone goes down, and vice versa. So what are some estrogenic things? Soy products like from soybeans, So a cup of soybeans has 10,000 times more estrogen than a cup of chickpeas. You do not want to be eating soy products, and especially processed soy. Another thing I added in there was flax seeds, because flax seeds are estrogenic as well, and that's something that a lot of models use to increase their breast size. And I just said processed garbage in general. All this processed junk combined, it's going to it's going to increase your estrogen and lower your testosterone through a bunch of things, through the seed oils, the soy that isn't, all of that. And so things to avoid, like not just food, I said microplastics, EMFs, and parabens. So let's break this down. Microplastics. What are that? It's just pretty much plastic. And I like to say, don't consume microplastics. Try not to touch them too much. So, like for example, you might hear people talking about, "Oh, I don't touch receipts. I'm not touching that receipt." You might think that, it's not that deep. Receipts have BPA's, which is this uh, unnatural chemical that mimics estrogen, and about 4% of the receipt is filled has BPA's on them, which is really bad. Um, and so plastic water bottles, plastic cutting boards, like plastic plates and cups. If you're consuming something from plastics, that the microplastics are super estrogenic and mimic estrogen, and these plastics will go in your system and increase your estrogen, lower your testosterone. Like when you are using a plastic cutting board, you're cutting off some of the plastic, and you're pouring your food, and you're pouring the plastic into the food, and that's like big chunks of plastic too. So that's gonna be terrible for you. And then I said, and then next is EMFs. So like EMF radiation, and this is mainly from your phone. So recently, an Andrew Huberman study came out talking about how, and there's been people talking about this before as well, how putting your phone in your pocket actually lowers your testosterone, decreases sperm count, and Andrew Huberman confirmed that reduces sperm count, reduces your sperm quality, and over can also decrease your testosterone. So you don't want to have, like, especially with like the EMF radiation from your phone, putting in your pocket or close to your testicles, is proven to lower your testosterone. You might think that's a little bit crazy, but you just trust. I've seen a lot of anecdotal evidence where people implement, I mean, all these things, especially not putting their phone in their pocket, just carrying it around, and their testosterone, which is measured in nanograms per deciliter, has increased. So, and the next thing, hold on, uh, another thing about EMFs. So during just certain radiation, like if you use a microwave, try not to use it too often. That has EMFs, and that's gonna radiate onto your food, which can also in turn lower your testosterone. And then parabens. So for example, things like chemicals like fragrances and sunscreen. I know a lot of people love to wear fragrance, and I think that's great. That's going to help. Like a lot of people in the looks max in space, and that is going to help. But it decreases your testosterone a lot. And there's good replacements for it, like essential oils. Now you could wear a cologne, like I mean, like like if you're going on a date or something, if you're not like wearing it too often, that's fine. But I know people that spray like 5 shots, 6, 7 shots. I mean, like every day, bro. Like, what are we doing? Lock in. Also, for example, sunscreen has a lot of chemicals in it and parabens that will increase your estrogen and lower your testosterone. So the next thing is getting sunlight and grounding. The vitamin D in sunlight and has proved that it can increase your testosterone. And there's a lot of good vitamin D. There's a lot of just get sunlight, bro. As we talked earlier, it also increases other parts of your health. And then grounding. What is grounding? So grounding is basically when you in the morning, or it actually doesn't have to be in the morning, but when you take your socks off and you're in your feet, you walk on things like grass, and then maybe like natural things, grass, and walk on rocks and stuff like that. And there isn't too much evidence on it. It's pretty new subject, but there's been evidence to show that it can increase your testosterone. And same thing with sunlight. Dr. Andrew Huberman, again, he suggests that in the morning that you get sunlight, because that will give you a better circadian rhythm, which is your like rhythm for your sleep, and that's also going to increase testosterone, so that's good. Another thing is to lower your stress. So uh, and your cortisol. So when you're stressed, hormone like you get a spike in cortisol, and that is shown that when you get a spike in cortisol, you decrease your testosterone. So how can I lower my stress? Well, there's many things. I like to just meditate. I mean, journal. There's a lot of good things you could look into about lowering stress and not putting too much stress on the body mentally and physically too. But I've also heard a lot about do not get cortisol. Like lower your cortisol as much as possible. Like for example, people say that jogging, uh, it lowers your testosterone because due to the big spike of cortisol. But I mean, at first I questioned that too. I didn't think that really could be right. But a lot of studies show and evidence show that if you are jogging like 15 miles a week, don't quote me on this, but there is a lot of evidence. You can look into Santa Cruz talking about this, that a lot of acts jogging per week can lead to lower testosterone. It does lead to lower testosterone. Uh, so obviously you should be getting exercise. You should be lifting weights. Just don't have stress. Like if you're jogging like 3 hours a day, that's not something you want to be doing. Uh, the evidence does show that it does lower your testosterone. So try not to put too much stress on your body. Make sure you recover well and lower your stress, and you should be good. So the next thing about health is you feel better and have better confidence. Now, before all it looks like the black pill people like start. Oh, confidence, bro. It's just be confident, bro. Brutal. Confidence is cope. Confidence is cope. I'm gonna show you what happens when you have better health. You feel better. You have better confidence. The higher testosterone, this especially with the testosterone, leads to better confidence. Let's say person A and person B, they're the exact same person, except B prioritizes his health, which leads to better confidence. But let's say they're exact same, like physically looking like that, right? Person A sees his dream girl, like his dream girl, and but he doesn't have good confidence. He doesn't feel good. Maybe he didn't get enough sleep last night, and he doesn't feel confident to go up to her. He doesn't think that he's attractive enough. Person B, let's say same exact situation, but except they have better health. They have a little bit higher testosterone, but everything on the outside is pretty much the same. They see their dream girl and like, okay, why not? Let's just shoot my shot, and let's say that ends up being their future wife. So that is an extreme example, but that is something that can happen due to better confidence and obviously from better health. So everything comes full circle. Fix your health, you fix your looks, and in turn, you fix your life. At the end of the day, I think everybody wants to have their life to be improved, and fixing your health is going to be the start of that. And it's just everything's gonna come together, and yeah. So the thing is about your health. Don't be too worried about it. Look, if you one day you're at a restaurant and they have to cook in seed oils that like one day like a month, it's not going to kill you. You shouldn't be too worried about it. Literally on Saturday or yesterday, I was at a bar and grill with my dad, and they put on I had to get a sandwich because like that was the best thing they really had there with like turkey and stuff. And I asked for on sourdough. Oh, and they didn't have sourdough. They told me they'd get it sourdough, and they gave me white bread, and they put mayonnaise when I asked for no mayonnaise. And I tried to wipe it off, but you know how it gets in like all the nooks and crannies. So look, but you just shouldn't be worried about it. Try to uh, optimize your health as much as possible. And yeah, thanks for watching.